After 2 decades of sterling service, is it time to retire ESPN NFL 2K5? Today, by your overwhelming demand, we are comparing the early access release of Madden 11 Renaissance to the modded legend ESPN NFL 2K26 Resurrected, and we are going to decide which one is worth your time, effort, and storage. If you want fresh tutorials covering how to install these mods on your PC, well, it will be hard for me to ignore dozens of people asking nicely in the comments. For today, though, we're focusing on the look, feel, and ease of access, so sit back and let me take you on a trip to a time before microtransactions. 2004. ESPN NFL 2K5 releases for $20 and threatens Madden's throne, ingratiating them to fans of simulation football with what was clearly the best football game ever. As EA's monopoly took hold, 2K fans took to sites like Operation Sports to join forces in cracking the code and modifying files. What started with roster sharing has developed into a full-blown experience complete with updated uniforms, stadiums, and menus for the closest we can get to the ESPN NFL 2K26, which we've been denied. For 2 decades, they have chased the perfect storm of simulation football, but our motley crew of hex code heroes haven't been alone. And who else would be their biggest threat?
Boom! Hey, where'd that truck come from?
Enter the Jonas Miller team. Somehow, Madden returned. And this time, it has high-tech sensors and a Patreon. Let me explain. An elite 6-man team has launched Madden 11 Renaissance. They promise 4K textures, custom Blender models, and a sleek, modern experience. But they are asking for an admission fee if you want the cutting-edge tech right now. For now, we still have plenty to compare. Let's get to the looks category before the casual fans click off to get back to their Ultimate Team transactions. Starting with stadiums, you can see that both teams have done magnificent work updating for 2026, especially notable in 2K26. Renaissance's best work isn't in the game yet, as alluded to here in Soft Drink TV's preview. It feels like there's more ground to cover in this department, especially for Yesterballers looking for that 80s and 90s experience of, say, football at Busch Stadium or the Astrodome. For now, we'll have to give this one to 2K5. Now, player models is where the 6-year gap and the console leap between these games is the most apparent. 2K5's player models feel simply dated in comparison. That's not a game breaker, but it is in your face the whole game. Now, for Yesterballers like me, those high pads might make a lot more sense for 80s ball, but for today's game, even before we see all the new gear and helmets that will be injected, Renaissance looks the part on RPCS3. And they're only adding more authenticity when the full version drops, so I'm leaving room for improvement to their score. As far as modded uniforms go, we're pretty much dead even. Both teams have done great with what they have. 2K5 offers a lot more in terms of retro jerseys in-game though, and using the GSGME tool gives access to even more modern options. Renaissance users can look forward to a uniform haul of their own through what's being loosely called an eras-like experience of year-by-year packages. We'll be able to use the AST editor to swap out pieces, effectively expanding the available options past the few Madden 11 allows in-game. That comes with the final Renaissance, however. At this time, if only for sheer quantity, 2K5 takes the uniforms category. Weather can be a factor in these games, but typically it just means sloppier offense in general. I think both are fair, though the sky flickers in my emulated Madden 11, and while the grass has more texture in the original 2K5. This category can get dry in a hurry though, so we'll just weakly give this one to Madden because the rain in 2K5 has a hazy look, and light rain should not involve lightning. Alright, enough eye candy. Let's make contact. Controls are simply tighter in Madden 11. From the truck stick to the pocket movement, you feel like you're in the driver's seat. 2K5 can feel a bit floaty by comparison, so Madden takes this one. But when you actually hit someone, 2K5 is still the king. In Madden 11, tackles are canned animations. 2 players sort of lock into a dance. In 2K5, physics take over. You see limbs flailing, gang tackling, and almost nothing feels more powerful than knocking down a defender with a fully charged truck. Ball physics are a mixed bag. In 2K5, the ball sometimes feels like a helium balloon and sometimes like a saucy meatball. In Madden 11, it sometimes feels like it has a magnet inside. It's a push. For animations, 2K hired real players like Tom Brady and Brian Urlacher for motion capture, lending authenticity to the movements as a result. But it's not all pretty. Madden 11 animations are smoother and lead to better outcomes than what we sometimes see in 2K5, particularly in the passing game. You can see here that the receiver expected a low pass to the sideline, so he locks into this stooping catch animation while the defensive back calmly intercepts the ball like 3 to 5 yards away. They feel vastly different, but how smart are they? My biggest gripe with 2K5 is the interception plague. We're talking 6 to 10 picks a game, and the sliders, which should fix it, seem to be disconnected wires. Meanwhile, Madden 11's sliders are powerful. I found a CPU versus CPU set on Operation Sports that had my sim stats looking real nice. Sim stats, honestly, this is still a bit of a work in progress. I've been a little more focused on spectated game stats, and both games have pros and cons with their simulated stats. We'll revisit this one next time around. We're just gonna kick the can down the road and call it a push for now. Now this is where the 2010 engine shines over the 2004 engine. The CPU quarterbacks in Madden 11 actually go through progressions, climb the pocket, and if nothing's available, they'll even find a seam and take off. In 2K5, well, usually they just hold the ball until they get sacked, or they throw it directly to a linebacker. CPU offense is more likely to defeat itself in 2K5, so this one is kind of a landslide for Madden's surgical cannons. If you play the original 2K5, you get a gnarly early 2000s strategy experience. Fullbacks galore. Some teams don't even have a shotgun formation. Thankfully, Resurrected includes updated playbooks for every team, if, unlike me, you aren't too lazy to open them before games. Madden Renaissance does expect to offer revised playbooks at release, even plays never before seen in Madden like the tush push. As of today, you'll just have to enjoy getting what you can out of the Wildcat formation that wormed its way into almost every team's playbook at some point in 2010. We've talked about the bodies and the brains of these modded classics, but what about their souls? I admire the work the Resurrected team has done to bring the UI into the future graphically, but the awkwardly spaced font is a glaring side effect. Similarly, due to size limitations, Renaissance opted for lower quality portraits. This kind of makes me question why care, but I will tip my cap to the sharp-looking portraits in 2K26 Resurrected. The 2K modders earned this time. The single biggest strength of 2K5 is its halftime show, with SportsCenter music, stats, highlights, and Robo-Berman. Madden 11 has a lifeless version of this, which feels like an interruption of gameplay rather than an engaging feature with surprisingly agile canned narration. Plus, as I highlighted last week in our Super Bowl 60 Resurrected sim, 2K5 doesn't just highlight big plays, but also subtle fundamentals of the game like blocking, which opens up holes for runners. Madden couldn't compete 6 years later, and EA cares even less about history or authenticity now. 2K5 is a masterclass of sports video game symbiosis with media branding. ESPN isn't just a logo on the UI, it lives in this game, it breathes in this game. Plus, the optional broadcast overlays included with Resurrected are a very nice touch. Don't you think, YouTube? Once again, the broadcast in 2K5 is unparalleled. The voice actors for Dan Stevens and Peter O'Keefe were not paid enough, whatever it was. They clearly had a great time recording these lines, and it's tough to deny a goofy smile through some of their dad humor. Now, Chris Collinsworth is an accomplished voice who brings credibility to the Madden 11 broadcast, and Gus Johnson is almost single-handedly responsible for any and all energy Madden 11 brought to the broadcast table.
Feet don't fail me now!
But it just feels like they're great actors with a mediocre script and not enough to do. I can't give either franchise mode a 5 out of 5 because neither of them are My League or Eras. I mean, seriously, 2K cornered the market on franchise mode by embracing the history of basketball. Don't have likeness rights to all the players? No problem. 2K merely allowed the community to upload custom rosters and draft classes and even team logos and arenas, with sharing built directly into the game, an advantage of the future. They went one step further by allowing users to customize their leagues as they see fit, allowing annual on-the-fly rule changes, letting the user force wins, even giving the user control over who wins year-end awards. While NFL 2K5's weekly prep and Madden 11's owner controls do admirable jobs of giving the user meticulous busy work, their UIs are victims of time and progress. Rosters and draft classes are available dating back to before the Super Bowl, with some gaps, and Renaissance is promising a library from 2002 to present. Despite their issues, these repositories give both games a full point boost. There is so much I am planning to resim with these libraries, so subscribe to be ready when we change history here on Yesterball. Look, I have a full-time job and a wife and kids. I don't have a ton of time to edit rosters or jerseys or anything of that sort. So I have crazy respect and admiration for both the Resurrected and the Renaissance team's hard work and dedication to chasing that perfect storm of simulated football. While it may be difficult at first to locate these mods, they do come with ample instruction that, if followed clearly, should get you up and running without corrupting anything. I personally found both installs exceptionally easy, and if I can figure it out, you can. Just be smart, make backups, and follow directions, and you'll be fine. My only gripe for time is that it takes about 90 minutes to spectate a 2K5 contest with 9-minute quarters. With 12-minute quarters, a Madden 11 matchup clocks in at a hair over an hour. Madden might win match speed, but 2K5 wins on availability. You can play the full 2K5 experience today. For the full Renaissance, we're still on the waiting list until at least next season. That wait is going to cost the Renaissance a point, even if Nix does devote a significant amount of his time to helping people with their installs. So, we've walked the field, we've judged the look, the feel, the brain, the soul, and the time, and the final score is Madden 11 70, NFL 2K5 70. What a cop-out! Am I right? But honestly, that is the perfect result. These games are trying to do different things. Madden 11 harkens back to a time when it was still trying to be a simulation. It has the looks and the brains, and if you want to sit back and watch a realistic season unfold, well, this is your one time to make Madden your tool. And as the Renaissance unfolds, we're looking at the very real possibility that it dethrones the king of simulation. NFL 2K5 is that king. It has the feel, it has the soul, it has the halftime show. And if you want to feel football, the hits, the atmosphere, the chaos, the dad jokes, this is your gridiron. So, is it time to uninstall 2K5? Absolutely not. I'm keeping both. And if you have the hard drive space, you should too. Thanks for watching. Ring the bell.
I'm gone!